Respected citizens of India, I have a certain aspect of sharing my experience on the COVID response over 50 days. In fact, I've been working a lot in environmental engineering on air quality, water quality, and soil quality. I am observing over these days how the response is reacting to the environment as well as to the people. The first aspect of environmental engineering is the air, that is the ambient air. How does the ambient air respond to COVID? How the water quality changes are being seen by the COVID and its responses in the absence of industrial atmosphere. I will also looking and seeing how the soil nature and vegetation natures are trying to change with respect to the COVID. The first things which I want to point is the air quality during over a period of time in the COVID has seen to be very good in terms of ambient air quality standards. Gaseous pollutant standards, suspended particulate matter standards, and respirable particulate matter standards. Also, the water quality also reasonable, seen to be reasonable in the water bodies. Similarly, the soil qualities. If I come to the air quality, there is a necessity to check into the air quality with reference to the bacteria and virus. Generally, when we speak about the bacteria and virus in environmental engineering, we used to coin them as bioaerosols. Aerosols, that is known to the environmental people very long time, but however, bioaerosol is also known, but however, it is getting its importance over a period of time during this corona experience. Therefore, can we go for getting some response on the bioaerosols and thereby linking their response to the COVID impact assessment? That is one thing which can be done. In fact, our research team with the Pondicherry Engineering College people, we have done a lot of work, especially on the bioaerosols and its response, connecting by means of a sensor and responding it to the environment. So a common man will be knowing how the bioaerosols are responding in the environment, and thereby that will give us whether the atmospheric conditions are light risky, medium risky, or heavy risky. Similarly, when we come to the water quality is one of the very important aspect. The bacteria and virus were seen to be very efficient and effective in entering the water quality and changing its parameters. Of course, in the present time, we have the water quality parameters with respect to the coliform. Coliform refers to the bacterial presence in the water. But then, by gaining the experience from the COVID, it is seen to realize from our angle, especially from environmental engineering angle, that there is a need to set standards for virus also. In the sense, the virus can be detected. Of course, it can be detected, but however, it's always changing its structure, shape, and RNA structure time to time. And therefore, its quantification is really very difficult. So the virus is generally quantified by the effect caused, that means by the host, which we call as the phage cells. So the virus is seen by the phage cells effect, which can be always quantified. The techniques are available, but however, it is the hard time or it is the need of the hour that we should be able to realize this effect on the virus. So I would able to recognize from my experience over these days during the COVID that the virus is placing a large responsibility on the water quality parameter apart from the bacteria. For the bacteria, we have the coliform effect, coliform, that is most probable number, which we used to record and then put as a standard parameter in the biological impurities. In addition to this, I recognize from my experience that the virus should also be added as a parameter in the water quality parameters. So there should be a rapid test to test the virus in the water quality, whether it is a raw water sample or a drinking water sample or even the water sample to be supplied to the industries like food industries or pharmaceutical industries need to be tested for the virus. When we come for these bacteria and the virus, there is a need to test these worms with respect to time. Till today, the water quality parameters are static in nature, which means we test the water quality only one time and we look at the parameters. What is the physical impurity, chemical impurity, and biological impurity only for the bacteria. But now this is the crucial time after learning the experience from COVID that we need to test the biological impurities, namely the bacteria and virus, over a period of time, which means I want to introduce a factor called as a dynamic variability of the bacterial and virus impurities in the water with respect to time. So we designate the bacteria and virus presence in the water as a testing parameter in terms of the dynamic variability. That is the new aspect which I feel to be introduced so that one can able to gain the attention of these bacteria and virus worms in the water and its responses over a period of time. So therefore, this is one of the important change I need to introduce. I need to say that this should be introduced over a period of time. More importantly, there is a chance that there is another outbreak of the virus in future which may able to influence some other new parameters on the air, water and soil. So it is the right time for us to introduce this dynamic variability on the bacteria and virus so that we can able to build up these parameters over a period of time for the subsequent nature of the virus and bacteria which are likely to come in future. Now, if I come to the soil and the surface contact, as we know that the COVID-19 being spread by means of the surface contact as revealed and as announced by the WHO as well as our Ministry of Health Ministry, Government of India. So when we go for the surface contact, naturally the soil parameters comes into effect. Soil or land parameter comes into effect. So therefore, there is a need how we can get the response of the surface with reference to a bioaerosol, namely a bacteria or a virus. So now, with my research team in environmental engineering section of Pondicherry Engineering, Civil Department of Pondicherry Engineering College, we devised a method by means of which a biomapping can be done on the surfaces, which is the non-living surface, on the land, on the vertical surface or horizontal surface, or on the floors, or any surfaces which are under the suspicion can be sensed by this bioaerosol mapping technique, which will try to give us, is there any bacterial or virus present? So one can able to know at a point of time after sensing by means of biomapping sensor how much is the virus activity presence. Will there be an influence which will be carried for a long time through the virus? Yes, there is always a possibility, as we also know that the virus maintained its living condition with the RNA structure for a time of about 8 hours. So it is now very important time for us to check these timing intervals such that the biomapping sensor can able to fix us these relevance in order to give us certain surveillance response. and an indicative measure which can able to make us to be very cautious and keep us safety. So therefore, that is an attempt done by our research team. So we are about to we have completed it and about to demonstrate, and which is available with us. So hence, I would say that the COVID-19 response given us certain insight for us to go deeper into the analysis of analyzing the air quality, water quality, soil quality, particularly to the surface responses, wherein the human being can have a better contact. Human being can able to give a contact, and the contact can be always made through the surface responsing techniques, and one can able to project that whether the COVID response is there or not. It is an indirect measure as we have proposed by this technique using the disinfection effect. So, wherein we have related this response of the disinfection effect to the presence of the bacteria. So that we have done to our level best. We are ready to demonstrate this particular technique, so that this I hope this will be very useful for our community in order to test different surfaces. It is also my point of interest, after combining all this, air quality response, water quality response, surface contact response, and the land response, I can able to evolve a parameter, that is the environmental activity response index, which means when I look at a human being, when the environment is very ideal, the human being is always ideal. There is no question of any impact from the environment. Now, there is a human being in the environment, but however, the air, water quality, and soil qualities on the surface are responding to the human being in different aspects, which are seen to be more injurious or detrimental, which can able to develop the detrimental effect on the human being, either in terms of a disease or in terms of a detrimental response from the human being. Keeping this in mind, we have worked out a environmental activity response index by combining the air quality measures, air quality responses, water quality responses, and surface contact responses. So this will help us for a human being through an app which can be always referred by the human being. Is the surrounding environment by a human being is detrimental or normal or risky in nature? So this can be always sensed. So with that effect, this gives really a comfortable index or a warning index in terms of the environmental adverse parameters. So I feel that this is very important in the recent point of time, after learning the impact from the COVID-19 response, which seemed to be very important in the period of time, because if the effect is seen to be felt on this level, it will go again and again. It will go again and again, and period of time, as a period of time, this will again emerge as a major issue or major detrimental impact parameter. So therefore, the COVID-19 has given a very good experience for us, which we will take as an initial startup to gain our experience and to build up our experience and to evolve a new parameter on the air, water, and soil and surface responses. I would say that this would form as a base. Using this base, we will be able to develop further and further. As a result, one can able to fit in a comprehensive environmental index which can able to give us the response, which may be very immediate or which may be very moderate or risky or any point of time. So therefore, to a summary, I like to finish on this aspect. It is an active measurement on the environmental index, which will relay as a indicative index based on the surveillance which are being conducted on air quality, water quality and soil quality, and therefore this can be kept as a warning signal or as a warning parameter, will be useful to the human being as well as to the society, who can able to always refer us if there is a sudden response. If there is a sudden response due to a very detrimental atmospheric condition, the index can able to give us sudden changes in the air, water and soil quality parameters. Of course, we have the meteorological parameters which will give us the temperature, humidity, rainfall data, etc. But I feel that over a period of time, gaining the experience from the COVID-19, it is order of the day that one should be able to have a parameter exclusively for the bioaerosol, which can able to measure the bacteria and virus. So I will stress my response, my learned response on this level, such that a bioaerosol effect or an index can able to help us in a long run, not only with respect to the conventional reference, that is our ordinary atmospheric condition, it will also able to help us a lot with reference to the future viral effect which are likely to come in future period of time. One can always able to measure this and then admit this to in the form of a index and give to the society, and society can able to learn this to a better level. I visualize a new condition on this level after learning the experience from the COVID-19. Suppose, for example, let's say for the COVID-19, in COVID-19, the case is the spread of the virus is through the contact. As we know that it is rapid, we should admit that it is rapid, but there is also an expectation that in future, if the virus, if the virus attack the human being is very, very rapid, without allowing any time for warning signals or take any response through the vaccine or the medicine, then it is going to be a very, 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 very rapid measure that need to be taken into account in case of the virus activity is very fast without allowing any time for us to take the medicine and to try to prevent the effect of the virus. So therefore, this sudden response and the sudden collapse may be expected in the future after learning this, after learning the slow response from the COVID-19. So there is a big question always left to us that suppose in case the virus acts very fast, it moves very fast and within no time it makes the people to fatal effect. During this condition, there is no question of taking a vaccine and then curing our body and then getting our responses to a better condition, etc. This is not possible. So therefore, the vaccine or anything that should act very fast in order to make ourselves to be safety against the rapid activity of the virus. So therefore, this is one condition which we may expect. I do not know, but it is from my angle. I am keeping this as more hypothetical in nature, but it turns to be reality. It's really a very difficult nature, and therefore, what I am trying to do, I am trying to narrow down the environmental conditions to such a level wherein we, the environmental engineers, can help to the health department to the closest level possible, such that either means by means of a surveillance or by means of a certain indicative parameters which will able to help the health department as a added value for them to work in a rapid way and to develop their activities in a better way. So that is a perspective angle which we are trying to work for a longer period of time. But however, earlier the environmental conditions are very slow, as we know, as all of us know, that we have the control standards, pollution control standards everywhere. There is a standard for the water, there is a standard for the land, there is a standard for the ambient air. But having known that the ambient air is very rapid, the pollution is very rapid, okay, can we able to can we able to slow down this at a lower period of time? It's not possible at all. So if there is a sudden change, if there is a sudden change of the air, water or soil due to any biofactor or due to any chemical factor or due to any physical factor, how this can be reduced? So that is a question of interest. But now because of the COVID-19 response, I would say more correctly, if there is a sudden change in the environment, changing the air quality, water quality and soil quality through the bio agents, let's say biological impurities, bacteria or virus or any other biological impurities, what is the remedial measures to be taken from environmental engineering angle, like pollution control board people, pollution control angle or environmental control angle? What is the measures to be taken such that the environmental engineers will be very successful in transmitting, in transferring their data, their active work and effort to the health department, so that it will make them to a vital aspect of the working, which will be able to support them, which will be able to help them to a larger level, where we can able to bridge a very immediate, very rapid connectivity between the environment and the health. Of course, we have the connectivity now between the environment and the health, but I would say in COVID-19 responses, if I just learn from the last 50 days, we are not able to link our parameters. Of course, we would say that the pollution is reduced to a larger extent, that is admitted, yes. But however, if there is a detrimental effect due to the large mass of biological impurities, virus or bacteria, that's going to impose a large biological impurities on water body. So if the water body is polluted, our drinking water is polluted, so our drinking water which we take, once it reaches our health, 70% of our water body is composed of the water, 30% as we know it is cell mass, and therefore it may be a final collapse of the human being. So therefore, I would able to give my response or give my understanding on this level such that as an environmental engineer, we work to our level best to have a very closer connectivity to the health issues as well as to the water medium, air and soil medium, such that the human being can be much away from the health point of view, much away from the pollution point of view and disease point of view. There is also one important thing which I want to mention here. The air medium is very immediate effect. If we compare air, water and soil, air has got the very immediate effect on the human being. The second category is the water and third is the soil. So therefore, as we give the importance to air, the water also to be given. As we know that the disposed sewage is also seen to contain these virus and bacteria. But I learned from the literature and several webinars that this COVID-19 is not active through the sewage entering into the food chain or to the supply chain and making the diseases into the human being, making detrimental effect to the human being. So that effect is ill. But however, there is a response to be measured from the endocrine disruptors. The COVID-19, when it is discharged from the sewage, it always maintains its RNA for a longer period of time, as we know. but it never dies, but it is able to transform to some other RNA structure and to a spore forming structure, and there is always a specificity exists which can able to again emerge this condition to a newer level or a newer worm or to a newer RNA structure which may able to develop its detrimental effect after a long period of time. So that we call as a persistence in the air, water supply and land aspect. So this is one of the very important criteria. Persistence is very important criteria which need to be learned. One more thing before I finish, that is, as we know in bacteria, the antibiotic resistance bacteria are already being driven and the list is available. List is available in a large data form where there are even now some bacteria which are developing a resistant structure to the antibiotics and still they are alive. So as if we see they will be seen that they will be able to die, but they are not dying, but they are developing a new antibody and they are developing a new structure which can able to again evolve as a new structure and then able to affect our environment. In the same sense, there is large scope for the virus which changes its shape from one to other, its structure from one to other, as we seen from the media that the virus on one form is always changing. So as we see that I'm just learning from the literature and from the medias that when we see the virus effect is seen to be completed, seen to be finished, but it's not so. After 10 days, someone says, no, sir, there is another new form of the virus is being developed. Another new form of the RNA structure of the virus is being seen through some mutation effect. So when that is so, it is always understood that the virus can never stop. It is always going again and again. So therefore, it is the right point of time we should be able to develop a base standards for the virus, the water quality, air quality and soil quality, and let us try to build up further and further over future period of time, such that if any new bacteria or the virus comes in the new future period of time, we can able to have a better control over ourselves, that one can able to contain these virus in the drinking water standards, and thereby the virus free drinking water can be fed to the human community as well as to the society. So this is very important. So these are all the ways by which environment is linked to the health point of view. So therefore, as an overall, I would able to say this as my very important response by learning from the COVID-19 aspects over these days. This is that there should be a immediate linking, active and dynamic linking from environment to the health department, especially to the bacteria and virus, whereby the role of the environmental engineering can be fulfilled. Thank you.